YouTube, what is going on? Crowder here, and if you guys do not know who I am a former Worlds Champion Call of Duty player, and I am now the head coach of the professional Call of Duty franchise, Atlanta FaZe, who we've also won World Championships and many other championships as well. So I'm here to give you the Black Ops 6 movement tips for Omni movement to become an absolute demon for this season. Let's go. And first, we're going to be starting off with settings, and the only reason why we're starting off with settings is everything that I am about to teach you, which is a lot of sliding stuff and a lot of diving stuff, are all going to be easier with the settings first. So first, let's get those all right, and then once you have your movement settings ready to go, we're going to go over to the video and give you a lot of information. This is probably going to be my most detailed guide ever on this channel, so if you're enjoying this kind of content, make sure you subscribe. And also, I have already dropped an aim guide that is really good to watch before this video, because pairing up your aim with your movement is going to be the only way you actually become a complete player. If you are really, really good at aiming, but you're not good at movement, that's not going to work. Vice versa, if the other people can't hit you because you're moving so fast, but you can't hit your shots either, then you're not going to be able to kind of combine the two either. So with that being said, in these controller settings, I'm only going through movement settings, not the whole entire controller thing, because I've already dropped that a few times on the channel. So now into the settings, you go to your controller. And over here, I play on tactical flipped, which means my slide button is going to be R3. So anything that I'm doing in this video when it comes to sliding is R3, and my jump is going to be X. I play on a PS4 controller, just so you guys know. And that is just going to be a disclaimer for the videos when I'm explaining stuff. I play on 7.7 sensitivity, nothing too crazy. And going down here, this is going to be important. So dead zones in general, I've explained these a bunch on the channel, but this is also very important for anyone that's new to the channel and only watching my movement guide. Your left stick dead zone is the only thing I'll be talking about today, because we are doing a movement guide for this, and it is the most important thing ever. So if you notice, when I make the left stick minimum setting higher and the number higher, this red circle right here on your screen is going to get larger. And that just means if I hit the test stick dead zone thing right here and I actually push my stick forward, the only way it's going to register is if I get all the way out there, and then the controller is going to start registering, which means there's going to be a significant delay. And now 44 is ridiculous. I only did that for the reason of the video and being the guide. But if you kind of back it up to the default, which it starts as 10, even that little circle is going to be enough for a delay. So what I recommend doing is getting your left stick minimum all the way down to 0 if you can. Now, some controllers are older. Some of you guys throw your controllers at the wall out of frustration because you haven't watched this guide yet. And some of you just get unlucky with the controllers and you get a brand new controller and it has stick drift. You don't want stick drift either, because if you're moving around on your own and your controller's doing movements for you, that's also annoying too. So what I recommend doing is starting at 0 and seeing if you have any left stick drift. If you don't, you're good to go. If you do, then you want to go up to 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. If you kind of get towards the 6, 7, 8, 9 area, you probably need a new controller. That's unfortunate. But I have mine all the way to 0 because I want the most responsive movement possible. And then the same thing here with the left stick maximum. This is also probably the most underrated setting I think ever, is if you notice that as I go bigger with the number, which is the default 99, you are going to see that the circle right there kind of goes away. And all that means is for me to have my left stick maximum threshold, the max speed if I'm strafing, tactical sprinting, slide canceling, diving, anything of the sort to get that maximum speed, I have to be all the way out there on my analog stick. Now, that's not too crazy, but I know a lot of you guys watching know that that difference compared to this, which is 65, is going to be a lot easier when you're strafing and you're not going to have any of your dead slides or your random accidental dives and all that stuff. You're actually going to get your full speed because you're getting there faster, milliseconds, and it's just going to help you be smoother. So I recommend left stick minimum as low as possible and left stick maximum. I will say one thing: if you go lower than 65, a lot of controllers start to tweak out. Even 65 is kind of pushing it. So I would recommend trying to kind of test this one on your own, but make this setting as low as possible where it doesn't feel weird for you as well, and then kind of go from there. So I would start at 85. If it feels good, try 70 or 80 or 75, and then kind of just get as low as you can until it feels good where it's not messing you up. And then once you kind of, lock in your settings, which this is perfect for me, you are ready to go, and you are ready to become an absolute movement demon. Okay, so now that we got the dead zones over with, now we're going to go over here, which is going to be your movement settings. So this is going to be your most important setting here. So auto tactical sprint from other CODs is not really in this game, because this is exactly what it is. So if you go to tactical sprint assist, you're going to open it up. You're going to have this on or off. Now there's two ways you can kind of approach this. You can have tactical sprint on, which means you're going to start auto tactical sprinting right away, which is the fastest way you can do it and probably the most demonic way. But the sprint to fire in this game is weird. So if you don't want to have that weird sprint to fire time, you can just do regular tactical sprint or regular sprint assist, and it's going to be the slower version of the sprint, but you'll actually get your gun up a little faster. And if you actually want to activate that tactical sprint and have that choice, you can actually just click in your left stick one by going over to the tactical sprint activation setting over here, which we'll get to in a second, and you can just do single tap to run. So this one is kind of like on your preference of, do you want to be an absolute movement demon and use tactical sprint at all times and just move around the map really fast? I will tell you, I play on tactical sprint assist. I actually do think that this is just more fluent, and I think just with the timing and all the sliding that I kind of am about to show you, I don't really get caught in this game not doing a slide or a dive in any way. Just the way I play it, I chain a lot of my movement and my timing of it, so I haven't had too much of an issue. But that is a disclaimer for this video, that you can try and see if you like that playstyle more, because if that's going to help you, I want to help you as much as possible. And then of course, with these settings, you want to have sprint assist delay off. You do not want to have it at the default at 400. This shouldn't even be a thing. This is so silly to have to be a thing, in my opinion. I think this should just be off. Unless I'm faded, I'm not too sure. I think having no delay on the tactical sprint is just really, really nice. So I have the sprint assist delay at 0, and then I have both of mine on and on. Now, you're going to learn later in this video that this sprint assist backward setting can be very annoying when you were trying the snake, which I'm going to teach you in this video, and just in general, some other times as well, it can mess up your movement. So there is a world where you can turn this off and just not have this on and still have really, really good movement and also control your movement a little bit better. Right now, I'm trying to absolutely master the movement by keeping this on. I'll get back to you in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be making more movement guides, especially with Warzone, and I'll let you know how I feel about this setting a little bit later. But right now, I'm keeping it on, but you can easily turn this one off too. And then going forward, you're going to go down here to slide dive behaviors. I do think this hybrid is the best one. You can get away in this game with slide only. I really think Omni movement and mastering the dive is really cool. I think sliding is way more important than diving in this game in almost every scenario. But if you can master the dives, you can do some really flashy stuff. So I would recommend really trying to master hybrid. I'm going to explain what hybrid is and how to use your dive versus your slide while using hybrid in this video. But regardless, playing on hybrid, just make sure you can dive and slide with no delay. It is even more important than it ever has been. But again, you don't have to do that, but I really, really recommend keeping the hybrid on for the best settings. And then sprint restore and slide maintain sprint in this game, you definitely want to have on. And then you kind of go down the movement advanced settings, and this is where you get your grounded mantles, all your auto mantles off. I do not like auto mantles in any way. It's just kind of annoying. A lot of the times you do it when you don't mean to, and it messes up your flow. And then tactical sprint activation, I have mine at single tap to run, just in case I ever get caught in a regular sprint and I want to activate that tactical sprint. Instead of having to double click it, you just click it once and you're ready to go. And then other than that, sprinted door bash is on, and then that should be most of the movement settings that I am here for. Yes, so everything else, you are good to go when it comes to movement settings. I do not think I'm missing anything. I've dropped a settings guide and obviously the controller settings guide for the aim guide and everything. And if you want that, you should definitely watch those videos. But those are the movement settings that we're talking about. Now let's get into the good stuff. We're starting with sliding. Let's go. Okay, so now that we're done with settings, we're going to go to the number one tip. It's going to be slide canceling. I know we all know what slide canceling is, but with Omni movement, it has changed a lot. It has become even more important that you know everything that I'm about to teach you about this. If you don't know what slide canceling is, the very bare basics is going to be this. If I sprint forward and I just hit my slide button, which is R3, I'm going to end my slide like that. Now, if you hit your slide button and you hold sprint forward, you're going to actually see that I kind of cancel that slide and keep going forward. You can do it that way, which is basically just never hitting any other button, then slide, and it's just going to be the long slide over and over again. But you can also control when you do that slide by hitting your jump button. So for example, if I'm sliding and I hit that jump button, I actually pop up a little bit earlier. And that's going to be important because when you're playing Call of Duty, you're not always going to want a long slide in. For example, if someone was close corner right here, kind of holding this angle, if I just do a long slide, which could be an effective way of using the slide here in a second, we'll get there. But if I wanted to kind of, you know, like peek this corner quickly and just like, you know, catch him off guard, you want to cancel that slide instead of always having to do a really, really long slide and then turn and kill that guy too. So depending on what slide you want to do, mastering the slide cancel by using the jump button is going to be slightly helpful in this game. Not nearly as much as it used to be, but you can still cut your slide short by just hitting that jump button and also doing longer slides. So controlling the length of your slide is going to be tip number one by hitting that jump button. So one more time, you hit the jump button, or you don't have to hit the jump button, and you can kind of go forward from there. So that is the basic slide cancel. And now that we have the basic slide cancel, the cool thing that they added into this year is that you can actually slide in any direction with Omni movement. So instead of just always going forward and sliding, which is your typical Call of Duty that we've been playing, you can now also sprint to the left and to the right with the right settings with tactical sprint. You can see here, if I hit left on my sprint button and then I hit my slide key, I'm going to slide. It's the same thing again. If I hit my slide button, I'm going to slide. And you can cancel your slides in that too. So you can either do a long slide or you can do a short slide. And there's a couple ways that, you know, this is really helpful when you're in fights, is if you're fighting someone here and you just want to slide like that, you can kind of camera these corners, which we'll get to in a second too. You can turn corners faster with Peeker's advantage in Call of Duty, which exists, by using side slides instead of having to go like this and then turn your aim. So instead of it looking like this and doing that, it can actually just look like this, which again is going to help your centering, which if you have not watched my aim guide before we get into any other further details, first of all, if you're enjoying this video, subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more tips coming to you. But I dropped an aim guide that teaches you a lot about how to aim. If you combine that aim guide with this movement guide, everything that I'm teaching you here is going to make so much more sense. So I recommend watching them both. But again, you can see that the centering from the aim guide is going to be easier to kind of keep around this corner than if you had to go like this and then that. Now, instead of going like that, you can just slide to the side and get a pretty easy kill. So you can also slide backwards, and it's going to be the same thing. You just hold backwards and you hit the slide button and you are going to slide just like that. So this general slide cancel is going to be your best friend. You should learn to love your slide button and everything else about it. And then, of course, too, if you're not even tactically sprinting, you can still slide. So you basically never run out of momentum in this game. So if you want to be a demon, get this tip done. Work on your side slides like this, then backward slide, and then forward slide, and just everywhere you're going. And it's pretty cool, too, because if you peek down a corner and you see someone, you can, like, backward slide and kind of get out of there pretty quickly, too. So the better you get at this, the better you will understand everything else I'm about to teach you. So learn the slide cancel, and let's move on to the next tip. And the next few things I'm going to show you all incorporates the slide, which is why we just went over that, but just a little bit more advanced for you demons out there, and especially even if you're a casual player, you want to practice these tips. The harder it is for your opponent to actually hit you is actually a big way of, you know, kind of avoiding and also winning more gunfights. It's not all just about snapping onto people, because in order to snap onto someone, that's the easy part. But if they're moving really fast and you're abusing your movement, that's where you're going to actually make them miss bullets. And then if they're missing and you actually use your movement and you hit your shots, you'll get those kills. So everything I'm about to show you is all incorporating the slide, and we're going to start with aim in sliding. So aim in sliding is very, very basic. This is going to be the easiest one. In other Call of Duties, you would want to slide around and, you know, slide hip fire. You want to slide hip fire, just like that. Nothing wrong with that, but you also used to be able to do the slide, aim in, and then cancel it. Slide, aim in, and then cancel it, just like that, and it's the same thing. You can do this, which is really, really nice, because in this game, when you were actually playing, the slide is so fast and so long that you can do the long aim in slide and kind of really have a really good chance of just like cameraing your opponents, getting that peeker's advantage, and turning corners just like that. So you are gun up, ready to go. A lot of pro players do this already. A lot of really good players do this, in content creators and stuff like that. But you can slide and turn corners just like that. So you don't just have to slide cancel and then aim in, and it can kind of look clunky. This year, with the way the slide and the aim works, it's so smooth. So I recommend when you are running around the map, use your centering, and use your centering to kind of have your aim and slide. If I think he's going to be in here, I'm going to do this. You can also do it sideways. So if you're sliding like this, you can slide and aim in, and then you can slide and aim like that. So basically, you can always have your gun up while you're running around the map, so you're just ready to go just like that. So you can do this. You can also backward slide and aim in. You can do so many different things, comparing that with your centering and your movement to really learn. So slide, aim in, cancel. Slide, aim in, cancel. That's all it is. So the button combination is slide, aim in, jump. Slide, aim in, jump. And then you can do slide, aim in, jump, which is a quick one. There's so many different ways. So again, if you want to turn a corner, you want to slide, aim in, jump, and then wide strafe. Or you want to slide, aim in, jump. Or again, slide, aim in, jump. There's so many ways you can control this, and the better you get at this movement, the better you will get when it comes to getting these gunfight wins. So another really cool thing that the slide, aim in, slide cancel that we were just talking about is you have the slide, aim in, cancel, is you can also jump into your slide, aim in, cancels this year. So this year, a cool way to chain your movement is by jumping and then sliding in the air, and then when you hit the ground, you'll actually slide. So if you jump and then slide, you'll actually slide when you hit that ground, and you keep your momentum. So you can kind of jump around and slide around this map by just jumping and sliding, and just keep doing that over and over. So a pretty cool thing to do if you really want to jump and then slide around the map like that. You can kind of jump, slide, and then look backwards. You can jump, slide, look backwards. You can jump, slide, and look sideways. And there's so many different things you can do with the jump, slide. But the reason why I did this after the slide, aim in, cancel is because you can also do this really effectively to turn corners. And it's going to be jump and then hit your slide key while you're in the air, and aim in, and when you hit the ground, you are going to take off, and you're going to have your iron sights up, ready to shoot and kill your opponent. It's going to look like this. Jump, and then boom. And if you jump, slide, aim in, you can do that every single time. Jump, slide, aim in. And if you do that over and over and over again, you are going to be ready for so many gunfights where if you're turning the corners, they're just not going to be ready for you to turn that corner so cracked out. So if I was turning the corner over here, instead of just jump shotting it, which wouldn't really be good in this game, or slide canceling it, which wouldn't be bad, you can actually jump, get a little bit more momentum, and then boom, and take off with that momentum in that slide. And that's probably the best way I like turning corners in this game right now. It also works off of height. So for example, if you're jumping down a staircase, you can jump, slide, aim in, and then also kind of take off. So you're going to be able to jump off of this staircase. People are going to be like, what the hell? He's in the air. But then when you hit the ground, you're actually going to take off and slide, and people are going to have no idea what they were looking at when they were shooting at you. So you jump, slide, aim in, and this whole entire chain, if you hit your enemy with that and they shoot you and they kill you, that is just really good aim that most people aren't going to do. So jump, aim, and sliding is probably my #1 mechanic that I like personally. Let me know what you guys think, and let's move on. The next thing we're going to be talking about is 2 pretty important slide mechanics as well to kind of turn you into the ultimate movement demon. And it's going to be shoulder sliding, and which is very new to Call of Duty, drop sliding. It was in other CODs, but not nearly as dominant as it is in this game. And we're going to start with shoulder sliding, and I kind of just showed you what that is. But what is very important, especially for you S&D players out there, when you were, clearing corners and you're trying to figure out where people are, you want to do something called a shoulder peek. And all a shoulder peek is shouldering, right? You shoulder out, and then you shoulder back in. And it's kind of like you throw your shoulder out there around cover for a second, you get an idea of what's going on in your screen, and then you come back in. And the reason why that's so important is because you are going to get the information on your screen of if there is an enemy there aiming ready to kill you. And if you do it fast enough like that, they will not actually be able to shoot you and kill you with enough bullets to actually get the elimination on you. And then if you know, hey, they're there, now you can back up and run away. Or, hey, they're there, and then you can slide out, and then you can rechow them with the information and better centering and better aim. So you learn the shoulder peek, and then again, like you can shoulder, and you can do it with the sprint in this game, so you can do it really fast. And then if you see someone, you can slide out and challenge them. Or if you see someone, you can go, like backward slide, and then you can snake up, which we'll about to get there with the snakes. But overall, just gets you a lot of information. And then what shoulder sliding is you shoulder and then slide back, and then again, shoulder, slide back, and you can just kind of do that. Or you can slide into a shoulder, which is like that. So again, it's a different way to do it. You can slide like that. So you basically slide and then pull back. And instead of just, standing still and kind of looking a little bit more bot-like, this is the basic way. It's still a very effective way to do it. You can do it a different way, which is slide in and then slide out. And it's the same way to kind of do it, but a little bit faster, and you can get the same information just like that. You see him there, and then you rechow him. So shoulder sliding or sliding into your shoulder peek is also something that's a little bit more advanced, but I know a lot of you guys that are watching this kind of want a little bit better tips too to help you guys. So learn that. It's going to be a pretty effective one, especially for S&D. And now I'm going to show you the new, basically, mechanic that in COD wasn't really a thing. It kind of was, but it's way better this year, and it's the drop slide. All right, so what a drop slide is in the other previous games, the drop slide, it used to be slide, and you would like lay down like that, or you would slide, aim in, and then drop again, and you would like kind of aim like that. It would be like almost 2 clicks. So it'd be like your slide button and then slide button again. You would hit it once and then hit it again to like, kind of drop you into this like prone. That's always been a pretty good mechanic, and I always recommended it in other videos that I've made. But this year, the way your Omni movement goes, and if you do it, you can see that like my legs are out here. You can do that. You can kind of rotate over here. You can rotate on your side. There's so many different ways to do it. You can also do it to the side where you kind of slide and you look like that. It's all going to be into a drop shot. That is going to be your best friend, because jump shotting in this game is not that good. We're going to get there at the end of the video. But sliding into a drop shot is absolutely lethal. So everything that I just showed you with sliding, if you want to add a little bit more sauce to your movement, drop into the slide. And the way you do it this year, you can do it 2 ways. You can do the slide, aim in, jump right there. But instead of hitting that jump again, you hit your slide key and hold it. So it'd be slide, aim in, slide. And if you hold it, you're going to jump into that. Or if you don't want to do the slide, aim in, slide, and I'm going to do it a few times just to show you. So this is slide, aim in, jump. And then it's slide, aim, and slide. And if you want to do it the slide, aim, and slide way, you can do it very easily. It's just 3 buttons. And if you don't want to do it that way, or you want to cut it a little bit shorter, all you do is slide and aim in, but you never let go of your slide key. So it's going to be slide, aim in, and that's it. Never let go. So actually hold R3 or your button in. So if you were using R3, it is going to be sprint, slide, hold, and then aim in. Boom. So if you slide and hold, you're going to drop into that, like, kind of that drop shot. And this is going to look so weird on the enemy screen. I'm sure a lot of you guys that have played already, it almost looks like it's a dead body, or it just looks really weird. It catches them off guard, and I promise you this will get you more kills. So as you're moving around the map, if you are anticipating people around the corner, you can slide, aim in, and boom. And if you do it to the side, you're going to also have this tilt. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. If you get caught off guard and you're sliding, you can be like, oh shit. You can just kind of pull back and boom, and you have that drop shot. So make sure you are holding down your slide button a lot when you're doing this. So if you hold down your slide button, you can do it that way. You can do it sideways and do it that way. You can do it backwards. You can do it forwards, just like this. And if every single way you do it, it's going to be really, really good. And then also when you're turning corners, for example, you shoulder someone, you see him back there, you can do this. And you're going to be able to get kills where they're just not expecting some weird ass animation. And now that you guys know how to actually do the mechanic, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to have, this is Assistant Tucker. He's helping us with the video. He's going to show you what it actually looks like of the animation that I am saying. So come here, Tucker. Come over here. All right, so now Tucker is going to show us exactly how it looks like. So on go, Tucker is going to run down those stairs and show you what the side animation looks like. All right, ready, Tucker? Run down the stairs. And you can see there is just going to be that weird animation that is just not a normal Call of Duty animation. Tucker, do it one more time for everybody just to show exactly how broken it can really look. If I was aiming at this and someone drags like that, again, it's very smooth where that entire time he's actually able to shoot me. So Tucker, one more time, but actually shoot me this time. Kill me. Take us out, Tucker. And you can see there that if your opponent or you're doing that to your opponent, it is just going to look so funky on their screen while someone does that, where you're just not going to be able to kind of react to that. You're going to get a lot of people off guard and get a lot of kills. So also, if he just runs directly at me and does it, it's the same thing. So Tucker, ready? Go. And you can see there too, it's going to be weird if I was shooting someone and they kind of like lay with their feet first. It's just going to be a very awkward looking animation where, again, all those sliding into dropping can help you get a lot of kills. So that is how a lot of those demons are doing it to you. Make sure you do it back to them. And now we're going to move on to explaining one last thing about sliding and then going over to the dive. Okay, so the final thing after everything that I just explained about sliding is kind of using those slides to break cameras. Now, you heard me mention that before. Peeker's advantage is a thing in Call of Duty, especially with online ping and everything of the sort. So what I mean by that is when you turn corners, if you turn a corner walking, it's going to be a very easy kill. If you turn a corner crouching, it's going to be a very easy kill. If you turn a corner laying down, it's going to be an easy kill. And the reason why is you're turning the corner slowly. Where if you turn corners faster, if someone was holding this angle, if someone were to walk out, you're just going to kill them. It's going to be easy. It's an easy centering. You're not going to make them miss your shots, etc., right? But if someone slides a corner, it's going to be very hard for you to keep up and actually use your reaction time with the online Peeker's advantage and the Peeker's advantage in general to actually keep up, and they're going to break a camera, and especially the closer you are. If someone was holding an angle like this, right, and they're holding this, but you come through the close corner, you use your slide canceling knowledge to break their camera, they might not even see you on their screen, and it's going to look so jarring and so weird that they're going to slide by you and get that kill every single time. So breaking cameras and using Peeker's advantage is going to be the last and final thing you want to pair up all your slides with by timing your slide like I kind of mentioned earlier. You want to turn corners in the middle of the slide. You don't want to turn a corner, then slide, turn a corner, then slide. What you want to do is actually slide through the corner. So you want to slide out of the corner. If I do slide this way, and again, I'm not in a corner right here, I'm in an open field, but that is the angle that I'm going to be turning the corner on. So instead of going here and then sliding into it, if you notice, I started my slide right here. I can already be getting shot before I even hit the slide, where I want to start my slide this way and go for that kill with everything that I just showed you. So again, breaking cameras and using your slide to actually turn corners faster, even if it's at a farther angle, is going to be really important. And then also sliding into cover is going to be a really good way to slide into a head glitch. So again, instead of just turning this head glitch and looking like that, you can actually slide into this head glitch and it's going to look like that. And the difference between that is going to be so crazy because as you turn the corner here, you are now visible to anyone over here, right? Right here, you're now visible, and then you start aiming in. A game of milliseconds, you can be dead, where if you slide and you start sliding back here, you're not visible here until you pop up right now. And as soon as you pop up, you're going to have the element of surprise. You're actually kind of breaking their camera and getting Peeker's advantage by starting from low to high. You turn their angle of them pre-aiming you into your advantage and your Peeker's advantage, and also having more cover. So again, you can use your slides into sliding into cover and then popping up. You can, slide and aim in into cover again. So a good way is over here. If I wanted to slide to this head glitch, boom. And you can use that slide cancel to slide aim in cancel, boom. And you can just see that I'm going to be able to use all of that movement to get my shots in general there to help you out. So, all right. So this is going to be a little bit quicker of a session just because in general, diving is important and it is really cool, but it is not as necessary as sliding in my opinion. I know I mentioned in the settings earlier that you could get away with using slide only in this game. I don't recommend it, but if it's really messing you up, then yeah. But here I'm going to explain the hybrid setting a lot more because I know a lot of you are accidentally diving and you probably have no idea or the reason why. So in order to dive in this game, a lot of people ask me in my Twitch chat and all the chats that I stream on and stuff is, why am I diving and sliding? I can't really understand. I don't get what's going on. Like, why am I diving over sliding sometimes? Why am I accidentally diving? And you probably don't even understand what's going on. So when you slide, you push forward on your stick and you're sprinting and you're not clicking in your left stick. You're just holding forward and then you hit your slide button and then you slide. If you want to dive, you want to click in and hold L3 while you hit your slide button. So this is me going forward, not clicking in. I slide. This is me going forward, holding my left stick forward, clicked in. My L3 is clicked in. I hit my slide, and then I dive. And that's what hybrid is in the sense of there is no delay between the two. You have no delay sliding, and you also have no delay diving. But if you were clicked in and holding your left stick when you hit your slide button, you will actually dive, and it's going to look like that. So that is how you control the difference between sliding and diving. And now I'm going to show you some cool things with diving. So normally, the dive was pretty clunky in Call of Duty, and it was always kind of useless. But this year, they gave you the choice of actually aiming in and shooting while diving. So you can dive and hip fire, and you can also dive and aim in, just like I showed you with the slide cancel. So dive, aim in, and shoot. So it would be dive, aim in, shoot. And again, that's very, very advanced and very hard to kind of control. But it is very fun when you dive and you start hitting someone with kind of something that they're not expecting. A lot of people are expecting the slide because they're kind of used to it, and that's, you know, the main movement that people are using. Where if you turn a corner every once in a while and you dive, they're not going to expect you to do that, and you're probably going to make them miss some shots. But honestly, you're probably going to miss some shots too. So what I would recommend when it comes to diving is either diving to kind of get across cover and get information, and it's just going to be a harder shot for them to hit. So if you kind of like, you know, shoulder peek, or you can dive across and peek by diving across and peeking, be like, oh, I saw that guy, I'm out of here. Or you dive across, you see him, and you're like, wait for it. Now I'm going to slide and challenge him, or now I'm going to dive and challenge him. And you can just do so many different things. So it's kind of more of an informational thing. Or if you know someone's in a corner, you can obviously anticipate the challenge and kind of catch them off guard in a close angle. I like doing this in, for example, like doorways like this, where if he's holding this and I kind of know it, instead of just hitting like a long slide and doing that, or even again a side slide and doing that, every once in a while it's kind of nice to do, like, you know, your sideways dive and do it. Or again, you can kind of go forward and do it too. But again, it's just the same thing as sliding with a diving. You just have to click and hold. You can do it forwards. You can do it backwards. Click and hold backwards. That takes practice, and that's a little weird, and I don't really like that one. And again, with the settings that I kind of mentioned to you, if you're like behind cover and you kind of do that on accident instead of laying down, like right there, I tried to lay down behind cover. I'm holding up. Oh shit. I don't mean to do that because I'm trying to like pull down on my left stick and like lay down so I can get behind cover. What I would recommend doing is going to the settings that I just showed you, and you go over to movement and your sprint assist. This is where I was talking about earlier in the video. You can turn off your sprint assist backwards, and then again, you can kind of go like that. And it's a little bit easier if you're going for the snaky movement, which we're about to get to. You can kind of lay down there. A lot of people are turning their backwards assist off because that backwards dive on accident is kind of annoying. I haven't done it yet myself, only because it's just really fun to do. But I think if I was playing seriously or trying not to have that happen, I wouldn't do that. Now, with all of that being said, I'm going to show you one more insane mechanic. And then after watching this video, you go in, you practice these tips along with my aim guide, and you become an absolute Call of Duty demon. And for the last and final tip that I'm going to show you, and then some other bonus tips just to kind of help you out become the final movement demon, is going to be snaking. Now, I know snaking has been in every Call of Duty forever. It's always, you know, I show it every year to you guys, but snaking in this game is insane. And it's a little bit different. So with tactical sprint in other games, you didn't even have to click your left stick in. This year, if you lay down, you can't just push forward because you'll kind of crawl forward. What you want to do is you want to lie down here, and then you want to click your left stick in and push forward too. So you kind of do that jump up just like that. So if you lie down, left stick in, lie down, left stick in, lie down, left stick in, and you just do that over and over again, you are going to kind of just have this motion right here. And this, you might not think this is good. You're like, why is Crowder doing this? Like, people are just going to see him. I'm about to show you what this looks like on the other side of things, but you can also do this to the side now with your side sprinting, and and you can kind of just use your left stick and go in a circle with your left stick as you do it, and the better you get at it. So it is pretty cool once you kind of get the motion down with it, and it is very, very broken, and you can kind of just go across the map with this and use this on cover. Now, I don't really recommend always snaking. This is kind of just something where if you're on cover, you can kind of just lay down and just like, you know, it's almost like shoulder peeking, but you see them, you see them, you see them, you're centering your aim, and then boom. And now, again, that might not look that crazy for the new COD players out there, but I am about to show you what snaking really looks like. And now, really quick disclaimer, when you are snaking, that setting of controller movement tactical sprint, much easier if you turn backwards assist off, because a lot of the times you might click in and like go backwards and do that dive like that. That will happen way less if you are not using the backwards sprint. So if you want to be able to snake more and kind of just be more mobile, that's where you got to play with those settings and figure out what's right for you. But yeah, this is what snaking looks like. I hate that I have to show you this, guys, but if I don't show it to you, someone else will, and then you guys won't think that I'm giving you all the information that I know that pro players are doing. So I'm here to not lie to you guys. Now I'm going to show you what snaking looks like from the other angle, and then we're going to move into our last and final thing. So that's what it's going to look like when you were snaking from the other, you know, person's point of view. And then if you go on the other side of the box, this is what it looks like when someone's snaking you. Now, Tucker, can you see me? You notice that we can barely see Tucker. He can see us perfectly. So, Tucker, whenever you want, pop up and kill me. So that is what it's looked like when someone is snaking you. So you lie down and you get that form going. You notice that we were not able to really see him if at all or any, and he was able to see us. So it's probably the most broken mechanic right now in this game, and we're really hoping that it gets nerfed. But if it doesn't get nerfed, you're going to need to know it, especially if you play SMD. Okay, and the last and final thing that we're going to go is very, very simple stuff. I'm going to talk about drop shotting. If you guys don't know what drop shotting is, it's this movement. If you aim in and then you shoot and drop at the same time, that is what a drop shot is. But again, with sliding and everything else, I don't even really want to show you too much about drop shotting because you want to learn the sliding stuff because that's more important. But again, every once in a while, you're going to turn a corner and be like, oh my God, and just drop shot someone, and it's going to be really helpful too. So if you want to drop shot someone, all it is dropping and shooting at the same time. And then if you want to jump shot in this game, I'm going to recommend you not to jump shot too much. Even if you jump corners, it's very weird with the idle sway in this game and how clunky it can be while you're in the air. So you can jump corners and shoot like that. It's really not going to be effective of anything else of the sort. So you can jump around, but all I would really do is jump into that slide like we talked about a little bit earlier. And if you're not jumping into that slide, I really wouldn't recommend only a jump challenge, just because, again, there's so many other ways to effectively kind of do that jump shot. So jump shotting in this game, instead of drop shotting like this, jump shotting used to be like just kind of bunny hopping. There is no real bunny hop in this game either. If you kind of look what the bunny hop looks like, it is very clunky in the sense of how you do it. So drop shotting is way better than jump shotting in this game. I just wanted to cover that topic. And the last and final thing I want to show you is, we already showed you kind of when I talked about sliding, but is this right here, this right here, looks like a dead body. If you want to kind of get this angle at all times, if you're holding off angles and you kind of want to play still, instead of just like your typical, like I'm going to lay down like this and kind of hold angles like that and just, you know, hold your angle, or you want to like lay down here in the middle and open and hold your angle. If you actually lay down backwards and then turn around, you can kind of throw your feet out there, and it's going to be a much different way to hold an angle, but it's the same exact way to actually hold that angle, but your body's going to look different. People are going to think you are dead, and people are going to run right by you. I promise you, I've been using this for dark matter headshots. I would go into the middle of the map sometimes. I would dive into the middle of the map, and then I would just turn around, and now I look like a dead body. People run right by me, and I just shoot them in the back. So that is going to be everything for this video. I hope this was in-depth enough guide for you guys. I know it was a lot of yapping, but I really wanted to give you guys the best of the best movement guide for Black Ops 6 in 2024 and 2025. So if you guys enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. This channel is going to be your #1 tips channel, as I've been saying in the last couple videos. Watch the aim guide, and I hope you guys all enjoy your day and enjoy your Black Ops 6 experience. Peace out.